You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Sounds like some bad movie.
So, 15, 20 years later, they decided to do a sequel.
Yes, they did. They decided to take part in the gimmick that was the year 2000 and call it Heavy Metal 2000, even though it was originally supposed to be called Heavy Metal F.A.K.K 2, which was the abandoned planet in the film. There was supposed to be no life on it, and that's where they went. But yeah, they decided to create a sequel, and the original creator was, who was his name? Kevin Eastman?
Stop a second. What? Did they ever explain what F.A.K.K 2 meant?
No, not that I know of. I think it was supposed to be the name of the planet that she lived on that supposedly had no life. They were trying to find the key to everlasting life. Yeah, exactly.
Mineral. But it's F.A.K.K 2. What the hell does the F.A.K.K mean? I really don't think they explain it in the film.
I think it's supposed to be pretty much fuck, but because they can't say fuck, they called it F.A.K.K, and it was kind of like an inside joke. I don't know that as fact. I'm guessing it.
With the level of writing of this movie, I don't doubt it. But I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, Kevin Eastman, who's
the original creator of heavy metal, or one of, and he saw an opportunity to
he's the current. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. He was the current editor of heavy metal, and he was the creator of the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Kevin Eastman. If you look at
that's right. You're right.
Right. He's the original creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, back when it was just a comic book. And, of course, he was involved in the comics and everything and heavy metal and all that as well. That's how he eventually became the editor. If you look at his credits on IMDb, his film credits are literally Turtles, Heavy Metal 2, Turtles. The only thing he's done film-wise that has not been directly related to his Turtles franchise is this piece of shit.
Yeah, and it shows. And it shows to the point of where Julie Strain is the heroine in the film. And from what I understand, I don't think they're together anymore because her name isn't Julie Strain Eastman anymore. It's just Julie Strain again. So
it might be her professional name. I didn't see anything that said they were divorced when I was doing my research.
I'll look them up right now. The whole reason why she's even in the fucking movie was because they were together at that point.
Right.
So.
And now, unlike the original Heavy Metal.
Oh no, it does say they're still married. It's just Julie Strain. Yeah. They don't even. It doesn't have a start date from when they were married. It just says * to present.
Well, maybe they don't even know.
Fucking hell.
But she, I always hate it when filmmakers or whatever put their spouses in their projects.
Absolutely.
And this one especially so. She actually did. Now this was all a build up towards like trying to bring it back another franchise. Yep. This is Kevin Eastman. I made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and now I've got a whole franchise here thinking, let's take heavy metal and let's make a new franchise. The movie was a promotional campaign for the video game.
Yes, it was. And I remember when I heard that heavy metal, when it was coming out, I was very excited. I had high expectations for it, and of course, it didn't meet any of those expectations whatsoever. It just the fact that it uses as much CGI as it does instead of real animation. If you compare it even to just the original heavy metal, not even just every other animated film, prior to it, the animation is atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. It's like it's cheaply drawn, cheaply animated, and cheaply put together on top of expensive but not very good CGI.
Well, you can tell too, and what makes the CGI even worse is obviously what they're trying to do is mimic the animation style of the original heavy metal. So it's really more dated than it should be, considering it was made in 2000.
Right.
For the first 5 minutes, up until the first death occurs, it could have been a really nice like He-Man movie. There's really nothing separating it from Saturday morning cartoons up until that first death. You're like,
right.
Oh, this could be anything, literally. And when you're dating your animation that much, where it looks like a Thundercats cartoon, so it looks like the original, and then you're throwing in computer animation at random.
I actually think Thundercats might be better animated. That's how bad this was.
Well, in 2000,
but it's good analogy. It's good analogy, but
yeah. And well, thank you for stepping on it then. And and just mixing that CGI in there,
right,
really just defeats that whole purpose. It's like, oh, look what we can do. Then why aren't you doing it with the rest of the film? Why am I watching this stuff that, the original heavy metal had better animation than this?
Oh, absolutely.
Why would you do that? And so he was making a franchise. His wife, Julie Strain, posed for centerfolds in the costume for the movie.
Yep.
And I think it was Penthouse, I believe.
I believe it was.
And so she's promoting it with her modeling as well. This is the whole thing, was to build up, okay, and then after this, and in the film, there's an ad for the video game.
Yeah, it's a space shot. It's on the back. It's like on the side wall of a ship or something.
It's the loading dock when they're flying into the space station. It's a huge poster advertising it, and it's on screen from different angles for a good solid 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's terrible. So
and
bad.
and you can just tell this is like, okay, we're going to bring heavy metal into the mainstream, and who knows, after this, maybe you would have had like a Simpsons primetime cartoon, heavy metal cartoon. I guarantee that's where he was going with it.
I'm sure. He might have been successful if he did it in this day and age, maybe with Adult Swim being as popular as it is right now, but not then.
Well, yeah, he could do something in Adult Swim, but even then, and on top of that, on top of the animation being bad, the film, unlike the original, it's not an anthology. Instead, it's an adaptation of the graphic novel he co-created with Simon Bisley, who
that's right. You're right.
Right. Most. Sorry, I got sidetracked. My Vast is working now. I'm sorry, I've got stuff shouting in my ear. Simon Bisley, most comic book fans will know him as one of the artists that did Lobo.
All right, that's right. You're right.
So, and they had a graphic novel called The Melting Pot. So it's not even, let's get other artists and do another montage of stuff, or let's get other classic, famous heavy metal cartoon, like Ranxerox, for example, like fucking Ranxerox, for example. And instead, it's like, I know, let's just adapt the thing that I did, and let's put heavy metal on it. And what's even worse is that it feels like a 2-hour version of
Tarna,
the part of heavy metal you and I hated the most.
Tarna.
Or like, right. So it's like, let's take Tarna and let's make it into an hour and a half film. Oh, God. Brilliant idea.
Yeah, actually, the Tarna part of heavy metal is on right now, and as I'm watching it and talking to you, I'm just saying, I swear to God, for a split second, I thought it was Heavy Metal 2. I really did. As you were saying it, I looked over. I'm like, oh wait, that's what. Oh no, this is not heavy metal. This is heavy metal too. It's heavy metal. But yeah, it just Tarna's terrible.
The Tarna part is Tarna part is the cheer up Charlie part of the film.
Oh yeah, it really is.
Anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, if you ever watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, everybody in the world fast forwards through the Cheer Up Charlie song.
That's right. I think I mentioned that on a podcast way back when, that the beauty part about it, having it on Laserdisc, DVD, and or Blu-ray, is that it's a fucking chapter stop.
Well, every film has that one part where it's like, all right, why is this even in here fast forward? Especially films that are really good, have like a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah.
Tarna is the heavy metal fast forward part. Is the Cheer Up Charlie part.
It's unfortunate too because it's the last act. It's to end the film. It's to bring it full circle from the beginning to the end, and it's the weakest one of the whole movie. It's not horrible. I shouldn't say it was horrible. I did say that a minute ago. It's just not the best one in any way, shape, or form.
It's the best one if you're really into like the sword and fantasy. You know what? If you cream over Ralph Bakshi cartoons, that's your favorite part of the film. But if you're a bit more discerning taste, not to knock all the Bakshi fans out there, but screw him. Really, it is the weakest part. So Heavy Metal 2000 feels like the same thing, and the only real tie-in you have to the original Heavy Metal is that the object of evil. Source of evil in this case, which is the key,
right? Which
is really like a shard, like the kryptonite shard, glows green like the Lochnar did.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, and then so this one mind finds it. He becomes possessed by the evil and goes on a rampage to become immortal. There's a whole subplot there that nobody cares about. And what's her name? Julie in the film. Julie. Yeah. They don't even change her name.
No.
Julie. She plays herself, basically. She goes to avenge the death of the rest of her population on the planet that he killed because they have traces of the mineral in her body.
You think it would be easier for her to act because it's animated and it's not? She's still terrible.
Oh,
her delivery is atrocious.
Well, now let's be fair. All of the writing in this film is atrocious.
Yeah, but Michael Ironside. It's a waste of Michael Ironside, first of all, but you do get little gems from him in this film just because he's just so fucking evil.
But only because of his delivery. The writing is...
Exactly.
There's... I mean, even just... And they even do the running gag of... like he said, the guy says 2 or 3 times in the film, when you kill a man, make sure he's dead.
Right.
And like they set up the running gag, and then they don't follow through at the end.
Oh,
like I'm waiting for her to say that. I'm like the only thing worse than setting that up and having to wait for them to say it at the end is when they actually don't. And you're like, well, shit. Why would you even set that up? Why would you repeat that lame line 3 times if you weren't setting it up?
Yeah, easily he does say it 3 times throughout the film. Easily 3 times.
And in the first 15 minutes, I mean, again, the first 5 minutes is like nothing. In the first 15 minutes, they go out of the way to put as much, violence and sex in there as possible. But after a while, it just becomes, oh, look, there's more breasts.
Yeah.
And if the animation was better, it'd be cool. But again, the animation, they draw it back to go nostalgic. And so even then, it's like, well, I've seen better breasts.
Animated or not, seen better.
I think it could actually have been saved with just a better writing. If the writing was snappier, if the dialogue actually worked, if the characters had anything that drew me into them.
Right.
I mean, Michael Ironside's character obviously is the most interesting character of the film.
Right. And I rooted for him the whole movie just because I hated it so much. But, I mean, you just knew he wasn't... Spoiler alert, he doesn't win. He's the bad guy. Right. You root for him the whole film because it's so bad. You only want him to win because it is so bad. He's not a villain that you love to hate. It's just the only gleaming part of the film. He's
not even good enough to love to hate. This doesn't even surpass Michael Ironside on Total Recall.
Right.
This doesn't even surpass Michael Ironside in Highlander 2.
Ooh.
And and again, there's another film that he's the only good part of.
Mm-hmm.
So and best of all, the demon at the end.
Yeah.
The worst CGI of 2000.
Ever.
The Last Starfighter, the
Yeah.
computer animation of that, better than the alien at the end of this movie. Yeah, that's saying something, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
sure is. Holy shit.
Jesus. And you'd think animated gore and well, it's also like, remember that TV show Tripping the Rift that came out? Like that's it was no, you don't.
I don't think
that's my
so.
point. That's my point exactly. It was a cable. I forget which cable channel did it. It might have been Spike, and it was sex and crude adult humor in a computer animated cartoon, like a space one. And I caught the first episode. I'm like, all right, this is like the heavy metal stuff. And you watch it for one episode, and it's just
It's terrible.
So all you're doing is throwing sex jokes at the screen. There's no inspiration here. There's no style. The animation is just, oh, we can do this, but there's no. I mean, you watch me like heavy metal, and there's artistry involved.
Right.
And that's what's oddly. And again, I'm not knocking the guy. He did a cool comic book, and it became a huge franchise. Good for him. He made his money on it.
Yeah.
But you can tell.
Sure.
You can tell with the animation in this that there is no artistry or soul or passion. It's just, okay, here's the next franchise. What do we have to have in here? We have to have this. We have to have that. We have to have that. Put it out there. There's no heart. And this isn't art. This is just product.
Right. Right.
And you can feel it all the way through.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's
product, no art.
And again, to just before we go to break, it is gimmicky, year 2000 shit. I mean, how many movies? We should make that an episode. We should look just briefly, not maybe make it an episode, but look at all the films that have the word or title, the number 2000 in it. I mean, you got Heavy Metal 2000, Dracula 2000,
Death Race 2000.
That didn't come out in
Cherry
2000.
2000.
Didn't come out. Oh, okay, you're right. Okay, we can do it as a whole.
Still has it in the title.
Yeah, I was
Cherry
talking about movies that came out in the year 2000.
No.
With 2000 in the title.
Don't narrow yourself down. Every film that has 2000 in the title, Cherry 2000, that's got to be in there.
Oh yeah,
Cherry
2000.
Every guy who grew up with access to a video rental store in the late 80s, early 90s knows Cherry 2000.
Fucking, hey, right. Was that was Melanie Griffith, right? Yeah.
What? Not as Cherry 2000.
No, Cherry 2000 was the robot he was trying to get back.
The sex robot.
The sex robot.
One man's quest to save a sex robot. Every guy can, that's they're into that film immediately. So, well, of course you're going to drive cross country for that. Those things don't come cheap.
No, I think they even said what she cost in the film, and it was like absurd. It's like, you paid what?
And even, here you go, for in Heavy Metal 2000, there's a sex robot.
That's right.
And that is the saddest sex robot I've ever seen. Even in the year 2000, they had better looking sex dolls. Not that I should know that or would know that, but Correct. It's true.
Yeah. All right, let's go to break real quick. When we come back, we're going to talk about what's coming out this weekend. And
before you do that, though,
what?
Before you do that, we have to rate the films we just reviewed on IMDb.
You want to rate it?
We have to rate all three of them.
All three. All right. I'll put you back on the screen then.
Right.
So let's start with Heavy Metal.
Heavy Metal.
Let's do this in chronological order the right way.
Right now, the current rating is 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. Personally, for me, it's a little higher than that.
I agree. I would say if you start at 10 and you knock off a point for
Tarna.
I
would say knock a point off for Tarna. I would knock a point off for the one that is right before Tarna, which is the one that I created the challenge for, which is where the girl gets shot up into space.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, kinda.
I would take a point off for that too. I mean, it's okay.
All right, and I'm going to take a point off for not having the proper Devo song on the soundtrack. So that takes us down to 7.
7. You know what? I'd like it a little higher than a 7, like a 7.5. Really? Yeah, 7.5.
Can't do 0.5. It's got to be 7 or 8.
Oh, really?
It's 10 stars. Come on.
I don't know if not having the Devo song on the soundtrack, which has nothing to do with the film, it's in the movie. I don't think that should play a part in the score.
Well, that's my, you know. I'll give you an 8 only because it is an iconic film. I think it's a little high to rate an animated film.
All right. Let's give it 7. Let's give it a 7.
Thank
then.
you. All right. See,
we'll give it a 7. We'll give it a 7. You're right, because
right,
I think Rock and Rule is the better movie.
There was a problem. It
What?
still rated it. It just
What
no, it still
problem?
rated it. It just said there was a problem.
All right. Now let's move on to Rock and Roll.
All right, I'm gonna start off at 3.
Fuck you. 3.
What do you want to give this one?
I would give it a solid 8. I would give Rock and Rule a solid 8. For me, personally. That's my personal. I might even give it a higher number than that, but
I'll cut you off at 8 then. I'll give it an 8.
8 is, I think 8's good for Rock and Roll.
It gets extra points for having original music in it and Iggy Pop.
And Iggy Pop.
All right. And that original rating was 6.5 as well.
Yeah. I think the ratings are lower than they might, or they should be, for the very reason that you get new viewers now that don't get that nostalgic. They don't get that. They may enjoy it still, but
nostalgia shouldn't play a role in it. The film should stand on its own.
It shouldn't, and it does. But
speaking of ratings,
I think with shit that comes out today, with the CGI that they use for animated films today, they look at this and they're like, "Oh wow,"
It's kind of hard to relate.
It's like looking at a CRT television from 15 years ago. It's like, wow, you had those, and that was only 15 years ago.
Looking at a typewriter. What's that?
Yeah, what the fuck's a typewriter? Last one made in India about a year ago.
Where's the ink cartridge go? Anyway,
yeah.
Speaking of undeserved ratings, Heavy Metal 2000 has 5.2.
It's too high.
Too high.
It's
I agree.
Entirely too high. Let's start at 5 and work our way down. Take a point off because it was more CGI than animation.
Oh, no. Hold on. I disagree. Start at 1 and give me reasons to give it good points. Give it 1 star. Start at 1 star.
1 star and work our way up? All right.
Not as easy, is it?
No, it's not.
2. Michael Ironside. I'll put it up to 2.
Okay. 2 for Michael Ironside.
Now, it has breasts. Do we give it 3 just on the breast alone?
But they're not good breasts. They're not as good as they were in Heavy Metal. They were like the opening scene where she's showering and she's like putting her hand underneath, like to wash it, and it's supposed to look sexy. It just looks like it's 15 frames a second. It just looks awful. Doesn't look good at all.
I'll give you that. All right, no go there.
It's just repetition. It's animated repetition. There's no style to it.
And let's be fair. Tyler, that's the name of the bad guy, Tyler. Now, be fair. He did try to rape the barmaid in the bar. And no one moved to stop him.
No.
I think it deserves a star just for the cartoon rape attempt.
Okay, so we're up to 3.
No, we're up to 2.
We were at 1.
And then we
gave 1 for just for having Ironside in it.
That's right. 1 for Ironside, 1 for the rape.
Right,
okay.
1 for the rape.
Attempted rape, did not actually
rape.
happen. So we're 3. Now, for our female listeners, obviously, rape is bad.
Of course.
But attempted cartoon rape can be fun.
It's not reality.
It's not. Well, yeah.
I'd almost say to take a point away because the main villain's name is Tyler. Who the fuck came up with that? What a pussy villain name that is. Tyler?
I think they were trying to tie it into
whatever, dude.
Aerosmith.
I mean, you might be fucking right.
Oh, you know what? Knock off a star for shitty music.
The music is fucking shitty. And it's a lot of these newer bands or new, at the time. And I think some of it was even original. And it's like, musically, talent just went out the fucking window.
Yeah.
Just really bad music all around.
And they I disagree. I saw someone complain that it wasn't all like it wasn't all rock. And I was like, well, and I guess, but then it's called heavy metal, so you'd really expect more like metal music, wouldn't you?
Well, the argument is the original film Heavy Metal didn't have
rock and roll.
Was rock and roll, not metal. But
so 2. Any reason not to give it 2?
No, 2 is. I'd be comfortable with 3. I'm also comfortable with 2. Either one, I'm okay with. But 2, you're right. The music is fucking shitty. Knocks it right down to 2.
You know what? I'd almost go with 3, but no quotable lines, horrible, uninspiring dialogue, really nothing interesting dialogue-wise.
No value. There's no value anywhere in the film. Oh, you know what? We could knock it down another star for having the fucking video game on screen for like 2 minutes.
Mm. Oh yeah. So you know what?
You want to knock?
Let's make it 2.
Make it 2. Okay.
I can't do 1. 1 is like Birdemic. I can't go.
This is true.
1 is Alone in the Dark.
It sure fucking is.
Yeah, that's hard.
It is harsh.
All right, 2 it is.
2 it is.
Locked it in.
Beautiful.
That should knock it down a peg. Probably not. All right, so now you can take your little break.
Oh, okay, good.